The narrative of Ashab al-Kahf begins with the shared fate of 7 young men and a dog who took refuge in a cave alongside them. This story is not only about people who fled, but about 8 beings who left everything behind for their faith, who stood together despite fear, and who chose unity over submission. The Quran places particular emphasis on this togetherness, because what is conveyed here is not merely a miracle, but the steadfast solidarity of believers. In the Quran, the identities, names, and social statuses of these young men are not described in detail. This is widely regarded as a deliberate choice. The purpose of the narrative is not to record history, but to convey a message. However, the Quran does clearly state several essential points. These young men rejected the dominant belief of their society and believed in one God. As a result, they were subjected to pressure, threats, and the fear for their lives. Eventually, they sought refuge in a cave together with their dog. The Quran does not describe their retreat into the cave as an ordinary escape. It is an act of surrender. The young men pray, "Our Lord, grant us mercy from yourself and prepare for us guidance in our affair." Following this supplication, the miracle at the heart of the narrative takes place. God places them into a deep sleep within the cave. The duration of this sleep is stated clearly in the Quran: 300 years, plus 9 more. Yet immediately afterward, it is mentioned that people disputed over their number and the length of time. Some claimed they were 3, others 5, others 7. The Quran conveys these arguments but then issues a clear warning. Most of these claims are based on conjecture. This reminder redirects attention to the essence of the story rather than its details. While the 7 young men and their dog sleep in the cave, the Quran describes them as living beings under divine protection. The movement of the sun is arranged so that it does not harm them, and their bodies are turned from side to side so they do not decay. These details emphasize that this is not an ordinary sleep, but a period under divine guardianship. Their dog is depicted lying at the entrance of the cave with its 4 legs outstretched. This image holds a special place in Islamic thought. Animals are rarely central figures in sacred narratives, yet here the dog is included, protected, and portrayed as a silent guardian. For this reason, a saying circulates among the people: Ashab al-Kahf were not 7, they were 7 in one loyalty. When the young men awaken, they believe they are still living in the world they fled. They feel hunger and send one of them to the city to buy food. This is the moment when time reveals itself. The coins he carries draw attention, because they are no longer valid. The city is unrecognizable, people have changed, beliefs have shifted, and the world has moved in an entirely different direction. The commonly accepted interpretation in classical exegesis is that the young men entered the cave during a period of polytheism and awoke in an era where monotheism had become widespread. This transforms the story of Ashab al-Kahf from a simple tale of escape into a threshold at which the course of history itself has changed. The Quran provides no geographical indication of where the cave is located. This silence is intentional. Tying the story to a specific place could diminish its universality. Nevertheless, throughout history, many regions have claimed the cave as being within their lands. Among the strongest of these claims is the Ashab al-Kahf cave in Afsan, in the city of Kahramanmaras. For the local people, this place is more than a historical site. It is known as the place where time stands still. It is said that the cave was once deeper, and that some sections were later sealed. Stories are told of people losing their sense of time inside, of exiting the cave with altered perceptions of duration. These accounts are not scientific, but they are part of an oral tradition passed down through generations. The stories surrounding the dog, Kitmir, are even more striking. It is believed that the location of his grave is deliberately unknown, out of fear that it might be desecrated. Some narrations associate feelings of unease in certain parts of the cave with the idea that Kitmir is still standing guard. These claims are not proven, yet they keep the mystery of the place alive. The story of Ashab al-Kahf is not merely a miracle, it is also a narrative that challenges the limits of time, space, and human will. The 7 young men and their dog are not figures confined to the past. They represent those who are prepared to pay the price of faith. Perhaps that is why Ashab al-Kahf is still told. Perhaps that is why people still visit the cave, because this story keeps one question alive: how far can a person go for what they believe in? And perhaps the true answer is not inside the cave, but within the question itself.